Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Hive AU. Welcome back to a new series I'm doing. Right now, I am doing D&D recaps. This is basically where we go over all of the.
Whoa! I was not on cue for that.
No, you are not. We're going over all of the lore for all of our D&Ds. I am joined with my good old buddy Darkest Knight,
Hello, hello.
and today we'll be sharing parts of our stories about our very first D&D together, Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Get your game on.
You better play your cards right.
Come on, get your game on.
Okay, I'll get the game on. Right now, while we're recording this, we are also playing this Gundam Evolutions game. We like it so far. It's like a ripoff of Overwatch, though. But we're gonna probably play. We're playing this in the background, so keep our minds moving and stuff. So don't be surprised if we just they're behind that wall in the middle of a sentence.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure most of the GX characters weren't behind a wall trying to shoot us, but it's possible. It's possible. They
It
could have
could
been.
be.
Some of them definitely were.
Yeah, but I guess while we get into this, Dark, should we discuss the pre-games, or do you think we should just hop into the first session?
Honestly, we should probably explain a little bit of the backstories of some of the characters.
All right. I think the perfect ones we need to discuss are really two of them.
Okay, of
Well, the first one, of course, would be Neon Tatakai. That character
course, of
was
course.
was someone that our buddy Axel plays. You know him from n-darp playing Kaneko.
Yep.
And I actually don't know a lot about what happened. So, Dark, do you mind telling us what happened during that pre-session one?
Yeah, of course. So, Neon was a obelisk blue whenever they came into the school, which means they were in the private like schooling classes for the people who would be obelisk blue in the private school, you know.
Private
So
classes.
they didn't have to take the entrance exam like everybody else did to get in. But they were still I don't want to say like tested necessarily. It was sort of like that where they had to still go to the major I want to say tests. I guess it's not necessarily like a test, but it kind of was. Essentially, they had to go to do their duels against the duel proctors like everybody else, but it was more of just to rank them in their dorm. So essentially, they went to the same place as your basic people, your people who were actually there to see if they could get into Duel Academy, and they dueled against the proctors, and how well they did determined their ranking within the obelisk blue dorm because they had a ranking system.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that is GX for you. They would always have a ranking system.
So Neon went, and they ended up testing as the third strongest duelist in the obelisk blue dorms. But yeah, they were only preceded by two of the strongest NPCs I've ever made, so it had to have been pretty good um, to be placed third in the class. So they did that, and then they also met a couple of people.
Pretty cool
Saw a
people.
couple of people. Yeah, pretty cool people.
I
They
mean,
saw they saw somebody else there that we'll be getting to in a minute. Um, and all of that good fun stuff. But yeah, that was basically Neon. They dueled the same dual proctor deck that everybody dueled. So it was a masked beast deck.
I mean, from experience, I know how tough that deck can be.
Yeah, it's not a bad deck at all, honestly.
I mean, you can also say about that too.
Yeah, I did face it. I did face it as Koji. So yeah, it was pretty tough.
You didn't expect your own deck to be used against you.
I mean, it was necessarily wasn't my deck. I did build it, but
Still though. But I guess we should go move over to my character.
Yes, sir, and who better to talk about him than the man who played him himself?
I played a character named Zack Glacier. He went over to Duel Academy, the entrance exams, trying to see if he could get in. He wasn't from a wealthy family, so he couldn't go into the pre classes. But doing so, whenever they went in, he met a random person who was seemed to be very scared. So Zack talked to that person for a little bit to, get his hopes up. Get, make sure he's okay. They introduce each other, and the person I met was named Gary. Doing
Old
so,
Gary.
yeah, good old Oak Gary. But as it does, we looked over as we saw one of our people, someone who seemed to be really annoying, uh, lose to the dual proctor. And as it does, like he was like talking so much shit. But afterwards, Zack stepped up after Gary wasn't feeling it, and Zack was being like, "Don't worry, I'll take care of this. I'll show you that they're not as hard." And they dueled. It was a really tough duel, but in the end, Zack was able to pull it out. He was able to win the duel, and doing so, he got to move on to the writing exam.
How did that go?
I almost failed it. I almost had to re-roll a character right then and there.
Yep.
But I passed it, but because I passed it, I got into Duel Academy. But since my entrance score was so low, I came in as a Slifer Red, which fits for the deck I played. But doing so, afterwards, I ran back into Gary, and me and him talked about it, talked about what happened, and he also got in as a Slifer. So me and him were chatting there for a bit. We decided to have another duel, see how we're ready. And this motherfucker pulls up Master of Oz on me.
Gary had a decent deck.
I can tell. I'm back. Are you in
There's
here?
also only three of us on this team, so
Dang. I'm gonna heal you.
this is gonna be tough.
Uh, but doing so, after he pulled out Master of Oz, but I had my own person to keep me in the game, and their name was Elemental Hero Mudball Man,
A big chungus indeed.
equipped with Fusion Sword, and I believe another card. But doing so, it kept me alive enough to actually deck out Gary. But then
He had no removal. Poor guy.
afterwards, I had to go over and, well, I went to the docks as everyone else did to, well, go to Duel Academy because everyone was waiting. Everyone was trying to, well, get there, get going. And we met someone else while we were there. Someone who I don't think had a backstory game because they were too camera shy at the moment. Like, not camera, but mic shy.
Yeah.
But we met someone named Angel. Angel was a raw yellow student who really was really shy and actually didn't really duel that often. They only duel if they need to. And like they even explained that whenever we first met them. And then Zack met up with someone we talked about before. They met a certain Neon Tatakai.
Indeed, indeed.
And you can say what happened next was a little bit insane. What
There
happened?
was there was a lot of fun to be had with with those two meeting one another.
You can say that again. I mean, Neon and Zack met each other from Neon bumping into Zack. Doing so, he was Axel at the time was playing a snarky obelisk, so it was like, "Huh, you better move out of my way, Slifer." And Zack didn't really take too kindly to that. As it does, we found out that we met up with a couple of other people. We met up with Violet, who was a raw yellow student, like Angel, and some mysterious guy named Toby, an obelisk blue, who seemed to be a lot nicer than Neon Tatakai.
He's just a little bit. He was also pretty popular
He
for
was
some reason.
pretty popular, no one knew why. But because of the fact, people wanted to duel and stuff, so Neon and Zack decided to duel. Neon decided to duel Zack because he wanted to, I mean, they wanted to show Zack to know their place. And how did that go, Mr. DM?
Not too well for the person who wanted to put somebody in their place. I'll tell you that much.
So
They
after,
ended up losing.
yeah, after a long duel, our good old buddy Neon Tatakai flipped up a card called Dummy Golem on my turn because I attacked it. In doing so, I gave them my elemental hero Ocean, and I tacked into it with my elemental hero Solid Soldier, winning me the game. After the game, Zack tried to offer Neon a good game handshake, which they promptly scoffed in my face, while Violet tried to belittle Zack. But before she could even get a word out, someone gave him a vengeful side eye.
I wonder who.
Yeah. Oh crap! I couldn't join.
Oh, damn, that's tough. Try inviting me, I guess.
I'm in a game.
Oh, that's tough.
Uh, after this game, so like hop into one, so that way we can like basically be done at the same time.
I'll just wait.
All right. But afterwards, we decided to go to Duel Academy, where we all got the tour. Um, we met someone who was trying to be an asshole and take our cards. It was the same
Oh,
person who lost to the duel proctor.
that was guy named Blue.
Yeah, their name was Blue, sure, but doing
And it
so,
was.
I know it was. It wasn't Summoner Network. I could tell you guys that.
No, it was not him. It was not him.
But doing so, after Zack was able to intimidate, have him back off from him and his buddy Gary, they were able to move forward with everyone else to go to the dueling hall where everyone gets to meet. And well, what happened there, DM of the game?
So, they wanted to have the top duelist at the entire school show a bit of an exhibition for the people, the new arrivals, everything. The top duelist of the freshman class was that guy named Toby,
Yes.
who just so happened to take an interest in Zack, watching him duel against Neon on the boat. And so Toby selected Zack, a slifer, which is unheard of, to duel him in the first of the year.
It
Typically, it's the top two obelisk students that duel one another
yeah.
because the top obelisk student is considered the best duelist, and then whoever is second is usually who they pick because obelisks and all that. So it was
Yeah.
pretty unheard of for a slifer to get this slot, and this pissed off a certain teacher who was there.
You can say that
But
again.
they dueled, and it was a pretty good duel. But Toby proved why he was considered to be top of the class in
A-
that duel.
After a very, very long and tough duel that could have gone both ways, the duel ended with um Zack summoning his elemental hero Woodsman attacking into his Luster Dragon, thinking that he may have had it. Toby brought out a card that he was not ready for during his next turn.
Indeed, very powerful dragon of the five godly proportion.
No, no, it wasn't that one.
Wasn't it?
No,
Or was that their second duel?
no, that was the second duel. You summoned Red Eyes against me.
Oh yeah, he did summon the big Red Eyes boy, Red Eyes
You
Black Dragon.
you summoned Red Eyes Black Dragon and attacked Woodsman, dealing the last bit of my life points. But instead of like Zack, being sad about the defeat, he was actually excited because of he knew that he put up enough for like the top obelisk to recognize that.
Yeah, Toby had a lot of respect for Zack, the way that he dueled and such on the boat. So he wanted to take him on and see for himself just how good he was. And so Toby was very pleased, though he did not lose the duel to Zack. He recognized him as a very powerful duelist. So that was a nice little moment for them.
Agreed. It was a nice little moment, like showing off, well, that even though if they're in like different things, that obelisk and slifers could become friends. Even
And
though
so they did.
they didn't like verbally said it yet, but they were pretty cool with each other.
Yeah.
Yuki at the time didn't actually have a deck ready. I mean, not Yuki. I'm sorry. I was thinking of North Academy. Angel was her name, and Maria.
Yeah.
They
Who
were
does play Yuki?
yes. That's why I got confused. But they didn't have a deck completely ready yet. So what happened was, we did a dice duel with her, and doing so, she won the dice duel, and we saw that she didn't have the deck, but we saw her deck she was running. Sorry, was Dark Magician.
Indeed. A very powerful deck indeed.
Yes. Yes. And then after that intense duel that was a dice duel happened, we had our good old buddy Neon fight against Blue, which actually did something that Toby did not respect Neon for, who was supposed to be the third best.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
So in that duel, Toby is the type of guy who respects duelists if they're honest and you know play fairly and are powerful. And Neon, they're usually like that. They're
Yeah.
usually like that. But in this specific duel, Blue had Neon on the ropes. And so, watching by on the sidelines, Toby was the only one to really notice that Neon decided to swap a card from their hand with a card from their deck without anybody noticing, except for Toby.
So
And so,
basically, Neon cheated.
yeah, which Toby was not a big fan of. Neon did win the duel, but Toby made sure to let Neon know that if he ever caught them doing that again, they'd be in big trouble.
Yeah.
And so, Blue never lived it down. And a good timing, Axel. Hello.
Hello, Axel.
Hello.
We were just actually talking about the Neon versus Blue duel.
Yes, this first time I've cheated.
Yes.
Yeah, we just got done talking about that.
Yeah. Uh, do you remember what happened after like Toby confronted Neon about cheating?
Well, I kind of had probably the scariest moment in with Toby,
What
where
happened?
right after we kind of just found out that we were roommates, Toby immediately just looked towards me and just said, "Duel me,"
He did.
and immediately was like, "What?" He's like, "Duel me right the fuck now."
Nani? I mean, yeah.
And we dueled. He brought out. I'm trying. Wait, did he have?
It
He
was
didn't have
five God
five.
Dragon.
Yeah,
Yep, it was five-headed
that's
dragon.
when he brought it out.
He brought out five-headed dragon, which we joked about didn't fit in the room.
Yet, so I guess it was summoned outside.
That was huge. Big old dragon.
But that's when I decided I shouldn't cheat because I started to figure out why he was dueling me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Toby values honesty and being a good person over most everything else. So he
There is
also
also
has
like
a very interesting reason why he is so young yet so adamant about such a thing, which you guys don't know about yet, but we'll
True,
get
we
to
don't.
it eventually.
I believe before that though, I actually had another duel where I cheated as well.
Well, yeah, the one with blue.
No, Magnus.
Oh,
Oh yeah, I forgot
we
about the
forgot
Magnus
about that
Magnus
one.
duel. There's a lot of Summoner Network
Yeah.
references in case you guys
Oh,
didn't know in this original campaign because it wasn't meant to be streamed or anything.
agreed. But yeah, I guess since we forgot about Axel, do you want to tell us what happened in that duel?
Yeah, we were checking out who was like in the raw dorms, and we saw this big buff dude, and he said his name was Magnus.
Gotta
It
love it.
was Magnus.
Anthony
And this was
Gro
before I watched Blue Series, so I had no clue what the reference was, but B was fucking excited.
I was so happy.
And we were dueling. I believe he has a dinosaur deck.
Yes.
He did have a Dino deck.
And I was
Dino
getting fucked
DNA.
over really badly. So I decided, hey, I got away with cheating against Blue, so I might as well try and cheat against Magnus. And then that's when Toby saw that I cheated.
Yeah, he saw him the first time as well.
Oh, I didn't know he
Yeah.
saw me the first time as well.
No, he has a very high perception stat.
I actually thought that the cheating was after the duel with Toby, so that is why I didn't bring it up. But I know that Toby saw Neon
Yeah, the main
cheat.
reason he did duel me was because he saw me cheat twice. And I lost horribly against Toby, and I won against Magnus and Blue when I cheated.
But
But
we
the
didn't.
duel against Toby was a pretty big deterrent for me to not cheat again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean as well. We didn't actually say what deck you were using at the time. But
Uh,
do you want to say what
it,
deck you were using at the time?
I was using Magnet Warriors.
Yeah. The regular ones, not the good ones.
Yeah, not the
Yeah,
good ones. Those would have came later if they actually stuck with the deck.
yeah,
Yes.
only Beta, Alpha, and Gamma.
They got like I believe the gamma electromagnet.
Yeah, the most I had was Gamma. Well, no, not Gamma Electromagnet. I think it was. I just had the two deltas,
Yeah. But
and yeah, that deck was ended poorly. I
yeah,
found it was a hard way of finding out that I'm not really that. I was not a patient duelist at the beginning, but I got better.
yeah. But I guess during that, I guess we should talk about how Zach's first experience was in the Slifer dorm.
Yeah. Let's do that.
With that, Zach went to the Slifer dorm and he just saw this guy, well, being a little bit of a dick. He didn't know why though. He didn't know anything about them, so like he didn't know that they were an upperclassman Slifer, and at the time they didn't know that they were their dorm head. But a joke coming later for that.
Dormhead?
Was
What's
it
a
dorm
dorm
head?
head?
I said that to Magnus when I first met him because I remember I split off from Toby and Neon when they went to the raw dorm.
You did, yeah. You did say what's a Dormhead then. That was an iconic moment.
Yes, but
We
doing
forgot the key line of after hearing that Neon lost on the boat when he was going against
yep,
Zack, and all he said to Zack was, "How the fuck did I lose to you?"
yeah, but doing so, Zack was telling Daichi to apologize for, well, one, calling him and his friend Gary weak, and two, to show more respect. So they had a duel on the stairs.
Good old stairs duel.
Doing so, it was Zack's Elemental Heroes versus Daichi's Gem Knights.
Yes, Master Diamond.
Master Diamond.
Master Diamond. But doing during that duel, it was intense. But doing so, I was able to bring out two of my boss monsters from the deck. My Elemental Hero Blade Edge and the one I considered my boss would be Elemental Hero Darkbright. That was my character's first ever boss monster. But during the time, Darkbright was able to destroy his monster so Blade Edge could go in with the game. And doing so, Zack accidentally blasted Daichi off of the stairs.
He's on the top of the
Television, it's a
stairs, so he
hell
just
of an
kind of fell
invention.
backwards.
Yeah. So during the end of it, it was Zack standing above Daichi, being like, I may be a first year, but I'm not a novice. And Daichi was forced to say they're sorry.
Little slifer slacker though.
Oh,
Well, I mean, Daichi was also a slifer.
yeah. And a third year. But,
Well, I mean, it was said that he could have been an obelisk if he wanted to move up.
yeah.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
I remember that because I remember that's the reason why Zack decided to stay in Slifer.
Daichi was actually kind of a good guy. He just he didn't show it very well. See, he was very
Rough and
hard
tumble.
on the Slifers because they were always seen as weak, and Daichi himself had actually kind of a lot of pride in being a Slifer. So he wanted the other Slifers to not fucking suck like everybody says that they did. So he was a little rude. He's a little rude.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. But then after that, we had Angel, who, well, met their dorm head and then went to sleep.
Did not like Magnus at all.
No.
This is when we found out Maria does not like the loud and excited characters all the time.
Nope, they do not. But afterwards, the next day, we all woke up to go to our very first class. Doing so, Zack met up with Toby, Gary, and Neon, who tagged along for some reason.
I think it was because like there was someone else in the group. I can't remember.
The only other person who was in the group was after we went inside, we met a girl whose name was Chris.
One of my
Doing,
favorite pun names. Their name was Chris Alice.
I did not know
Get it?
that.
No
Yeah,
fucking way.
yeah, yeah. You guys never learned her last name, but her
The
name was
last name
Chris.
was Alice.
Yeah, Chris Alice.
I mean,
You
for reasons
fucker.
Zack would have known, but
It's been 3 years.
I think it's been
Yeah,
4.
you
It's
guys
been
never knew it because you never fucking asked her.
Who asked there for the last name?
Why
In
would you not
animes where
though?
normally people say their full names.
Well, you didn't ask her. Her full name is Chris Alice. I'm not fucking
Uh,
joking. That was the joke. I didn't finish Blue Series by that time, so I didn't know Tess's real name. So it was just a funny ass coincidence.
it was, but
And it was spelled the same way too. K R I S.
Like when I was actually
uh,
watching Blue Series, I'm like, wait a second. Is
but
this a ref? Was this a reference? And like, no, it
No, it
wasn't.
was just a
it was
funny
so
coincidence.
it was, but during the time when Zack met Chris with the other people, we all decided to sit together, except for Neon, who specifically said that they were gonna sit next to Toby, even though Toby sat next to Zack.
It's not because
Hey,
of you,
listen.
okay?
It's the fact of just him sitting there like, Toby's the strongest, so I might as well just stay around him and see if I can learn anything.
Well, I guess that makes me the second strongest, man.
I will beat you up.
I mean, you should first try to beat me in a duel.
Damn. Damn.
I believe that was an
Shit.
actual conversation they had.
I think so, yeah.
No, I think that was in one of our other D&Ds and that's why you lost.
Oh yeah. That was really I said that. That was
Yes, you
me.
did.
But after the time, because they wanted to get to know the area more, Zach, Toby, and Gary. I actually don't know if Gary decided to go along or he stood behind.
I think he stayed behind
I
because
think
Gary
so.
was not the type to go exploring. I
Yeah,
want to say he went to like the library.
I get that. It was Zach, it was Zack, Toby, and Chris going to the forest, and then Neon tagged along.
As Toby went.
Yeah, and I was like, huh, so you want to go exploring? It's like, no. I was like, well, you're gonna follow him? Yes. Well, looks like you're going exploring.
Well, listen, Neon was a bit of I was gonna say Cinderella, but that implies that there was someone in the group that was a crush. No, they're
No,
literally just the reluctant edge lord of like of any other Yu-Gi-Oh has.
but doing so, everyone got separated while in the forest. Neon and Toby went together when Zack and Chris went together. Doing so, people might be wondering, where's Angel? Angel went to sleep at the dorm.
Angel didn't give a fuck about anybody. You think Yuki was bad? Angel was just as bad.
Yeah, but a lot shyer.
Yeah, she was more shy than. I'm gonna be polite and not say anything else.
Nah.
Well, I mean, the difference is like her Angel's personality was really much not a prissy rich girl.
But
Yeah, she actually was not as rich. She was like not from a poor family, but
I mean,
She
they
she was
weren't.
more so of shy, and Violet's like the person who's like, don't go near the slavers and get corrupted.
Yeah,
yeah,
they were. I believe we discussed that Angel's family was a. I think they were a. They were either a like a cellular manufacturer, like they created like they're like Verizon and AT&T
yeah. It wasn't like anything super major though. It's nothing like fucking Kaiba Corp or some shit, but
or
you know.
Tatakai.
Tatakai Inc.
Yeah. I couldn't have two rich people in the fucking party, so
But doing so, should Toby and Neon say where they ended up first? Also, Dark send me an invite.
oh, okay. Here, let me withdraw from practice.
What y'all playing, by the way?
Gundam
Gundam
Evolution.
Evolution.
Just uninstalled then, I think.
Damn, that's tough.
Install it so that way you can play with us.
I don't think I'd have enough time to get that. And
It is kind of a big game. But anyway,
well, they got Cloud Play if I could try that, but who knows?
It's not cross-platform, by the way.
well, I'm sure the Axel would be playing on their Xbox anyway.
Yeah, I am.
But yeah. DM and Neon, what happened to you guys when you guys got separated from Zack and Chris?
Do you remember Axel?
It's been a fucking long time.
It has been. It's been a couple years.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
I
this was the moment of us finding the cave or the well.
I
the
think they
well.
found the well.
It was the
Yeah,
well.
Yeah, it was the well. Okay.
yeah. So
Yeah,
they found the well.
we found the well of abandoned cards.
Yep, sitting in the forest,
Yeah,
and
And
they
yeah.
decided to go inside.
Well, Toby decided to go inside.
Yeah, Toby decided to go inside, and Neon just kind of followed Toby because Neon was like, "I don't want to fucking be alone out here. You crazy?"
he
Yeah,
would
just it was like
you
I'm not gonna go down there. And then Toby's like, would you rather just stay here alone with Bear? It's like, what?
like
Goodbye.
And he descended down the well, and there was a rope because people liked to go down into the well.
yes.
So they went down into the well, and there was a big mound of cards to break their fall. Of
There actually wasn't a
seemingly
rope.
useless shit. Oh yeah,
I
Toby had to
remember.
make one,
I
didn't he?
remember.
Yeah, Toby just fucking
No,
jumped.
Toby
Oh
and
no, he did. He dove in.
Toby and Neon jumped.
Yeah, Toby dove in. He's like, yeah, it'll be fine, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay, I remember what happened, but like they jumped in, and at the time, that is when Zack and Chris found the well after they jumped. It's like, you guys down there? And
Yeah, that was fun. Then they made the rope. That's what it
Chris and
was.
I made a vine rope, but it snapped when Zack was trying to go down, leaving Chris up there alone.
Yeah, poor Chris.
So Chris decided, what a good thing to do, but not telling one that they were going to go fall asleep. But after that, well, while I was making the rope, what was Neon doing?
think I was just looking at all the cards, right? And then
No.
we started to see something.
No, you met someone down there.
There was someone down there.
Yeah, there was. Okay, yeah, I remember now. So, yeah, I was just kind of exploring. Hold on. And then suddenly I saw someone there and I tried to like interact with them. It was a girl wearing a red or slifer uniform. So I was like, "Hey, Slacker, what are you doing down here?" And she immediately started running.
He was
And I,
afraid.
and then I chased after her, and then she just turned around and just held out her dual disc. I'm like, "She's not saying anything." So, okay. And I started my dual disc, and then everyone in the background like ran over and like, "What the hell is going on? Who is this?" I'm like, "I don't know. She didn't tell me."
Aha,
Long
it's a
Then
story
they
Shadow
do
short,
it.
Rider.
long story short, I completely destroyed her
Yeah, her
with
deck was ass.
Damn.
with my rock deck. And instead of feeling good as like an obelisk should against a slifer slacker, Whitney, or surprise, her name is Whitney. First
Dun
of
dun
all,
dun.
she ran away and looked very sad and was probably crying.
She was
And
crying,
Neon
yes.
felt really bad and went after.
And that is when Zack came down.
Zach just kept following Neon, like, "What the hell is going on over here? What are you?
But
Where are you
before we
going?"
did that, we both picked up a card.
Oh yeah, no, I don't remember them.
I remember them all. I picked up a card called Hero Kid. Neon picked up a card
Yes.
called Doki Doki Literature
That
Club.
they never fucking used.
And
And we'll get to why after a while.
Neon grabbed, I believe it was like a small dragon. It's
He
really
got
good. I think
a
it was like
petite
this
dragon, I think, or decoy dragon.
decoy dragon. It was that.
Yes, sir.
But as they were all getting those cards, then they chased after the lady.
We caught up with her. Neon started to say sorry. Like, this is probably when my character development thing just went from 0 to 100 because I completely forgot what character I was supposed to play when I saw Whitney very sad. And
Yes.
so Neon was actually just like trying to say sorry and stuff, and we got her to calm down. And we asked her who she was. She said, "My name is Whitney." And we asked her if there was a way out of the well, since she seemed to, or we asked her why she was here, and she said she always comes down here. I don't remember why she
Which
said
is
that.
it was weird because it was like our second day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They found out later that it's because she could see dual spirits, and there was a bunch of dual spirits down there that were really lonely because they got thrown away.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Speaking,
Uh,
I also got a second card, but we'll discuss that later.
After that, we asked her if there was a way out of here since she's been here before, and she's like, "All right, follow me." And we
Uh,
did, and that's what I really remember.
yeah. I remember what happened next. Dark, do you?
Sort of. Not really. You
I'll
go
explain.
ahead.
Afterwards, Zach decided to split off from the others to try and find Chris, because she went off alone and no one knew where. Doing so, Zach was looking around trying to find him while Whitney, Neon, and Toby took a little bit of a break. The next thing you know, Zach saw something, turned around, and started running.
Oh
And
yeah,
then
It
this is where we found out that my character can actually run very fucking fast, and we'll find out another.
didn't you like nat 20 on that
Yes, I
roll?
No,
did.
I net.
No,
I
I
also net
yeah,
20 on
I
my
nat
roll.
20'd. I ran by it and I said fucking run.
I remember that.
And then Whitney was wondering what was going on. Toby looked over and Neil was like, whatever. And then Toby said fucking run and also booked it. And
Because
then
he
That's
had
when
the
Neon
very
finally
high
turned around.
perception stat.
and then Neon finally decided to look back to see what they're running from when it was a fucking bear.
It was Bear Sama, the legendary Bear Sama, not to be confused with Polar Bear Sama. Bear Sama.
It's like polar bear some, but less polar.
Less polar
And
and more bear.
yes,
But
And then that's when I tried to run, and I was running pretty well, and then Whitney fell over. And so I turned around, picked her up, and just booked it, and that's when I rolled the nat 20.
Yeah. So
Poor Whitney was not very athletic.
Zack like bolted out towards the obelisk storms, followed by Neon and then Toby. And Zack actually was a little bit scared at the moment, not for his own safety, but for Chris, because she was still in the forest.
Yep.
I forgot.
So after the bear left us, Zack and Toby decided to go back in. Where before they left, Zack decided to make a spear.
And it would promptly be a thing forever.
Yes.
Regrettably.
But as they made a spear, they moved forward to try and find him. Where they looked around, they tried to, and she was just sleeping in a pile of bushes.
She's taking a nap.
It's like, why the fuck were you sleeping in bushes?
She's just like, I take a nap.
I take a
I take
nap
a nap
now.
here.
Good night.
I sleepy. And meanwhile, I kind of like looked back at Zach and just went, "Why the fuck did you make a spear?"
Like, what? You want to run into the bear again without a fucking weapon?
Need a weapon.
The murder.
Like Zack made the spear for totally just self defense. Like if they ran into the bear, they needed something to stab it from longer range. I don't think anyone's gonna walk up with a pocket knife and be like, "Yo, I'm gonna fight that."
I don't know, man. Isabel's kind of fucking crazy.
Yes, but Opal wasn't a part of the game yet.
Like, well, that's
Yeah.
because Opal is fucking crazy.
Uh, but after they found Chris, they decided to go back to the schools where Neon found out that they had enough cards to go to the card shop. And instead of buying any packs, Neon decided to, well, buy a deck.
Ah, yeah. I thought that was kind of odd early on, but I was down with it.
Yeah. And do you remember what deck you bought, Axel?
Pretty sure I do.
What was it?
Uh, I requested a Frightfur deck, right?
Yes.
Yep.
That it was basically like during all these, like, let it be known that these were like weeks and weeks between, and sometimes even 2 weeks. And I was
Sometimes.
watching a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh, especially Arc 5.
Yeah.
So I was like, Frightfur seemed kind of neat and it could be Neon's thing. And so I decided to get those.
Yeah. I got some support for my hero cards, and the extra card I got, including 2 more hero kits.
Old hero kid.
Yeah. But
Good old heroes.
as they were just getting some cards, Yuki was like, of course, talking around with Violet, meeting some new people, dueling one person. But I think this one was an actual duel, but it was like very weird because this was her first time using dueling book with the deck.
Yeah.
I remember the first girl or first guy that she dueled was Vlad, right?
No, that
Yeah, the
was later.
vampire guy, I
That
think.
was
No,
later.
yeah, she didn't duel. Yeah, she didn't duel him till later because he was actually pretty strong.
He was.
So I didn't really want anybody to duel him that early on.
Well,
Anyone with Zombie World is immediately
I mean,
really good.
they did duel him in the first season, but it was a dice duel for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I guess it'll be good to go over to that because, well, oh no, wait, there was one thing. While in like everyone like talking and stuff, and like Neon and Toby and Zack getting weird card feelings from Hero Kid, um, Doki Doki and the dragon. Sorry,
Yeah.
and doing
Old
so,
dragon.
um, they all decided to go hang out, and Toby had the bright idea of leaving their extra deck. When
Well, Toby left his whole deck
Yeah.
actually.
Well, after they left their whole deck, they decided to like go somewhere. And then when they got back, Toby realized that a certain card was missing.
I remember this.
The 5 God Dragon.
Yeah.
God dragon. Which Neon just sat back like, fuck, if somebody else has this.
Yeah. But as someone else took that card, they thought of one person who could take the card. So they decided to confront Blue.
It actually was him too.
Yeah.
Also, by
Doing
the way, we're sorry, Blue Summoner, for making you just the the head asshole.
I mean, hey, they got better.
Yeah, Blue didn't. What ended up not being so bad later, but I thought it was funny, so that's why I did it.
But
It
during
was
the
pretty funny.
time at the time they were using a normal ritual deck. Like normal monster ritual. I think their boss monster was Lycanthrope, I believe.
It was
I
like
like him for
Yeah.
because that's my favorite ritual monster.
I mean fair.
So I gave it to them.
But as Toby rushed after the card after Blue decided to throw a card into the water.
Yeah,
As that was happening, well, here, take that by the way. Well,
thank you.
Neon had to duel Blue for the second time. I believe it was Neon again. Yeah, I don't think I've actually ever dueled Blue.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I believe it was Neon that dueled Blue.
Yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure it was me.
yeah. But as they dueled Blue again, using their fight for deck for the first time, I think I had to walk out of the room in that moment because of something. But at the time, well, Neon really led it all out, and doing so, Blue lost. And after they ran away, Toby came back onto land with not their 5 God Dragon card.
Yup.
It
Yeah.
was another Lycanthrope.
Because they got baited.
You can say that again. But afterwards, we thought that maybe we'll go after him later for that, but later never really came. Because at the times, we were getting reports of, well, weird stuff may be going on around the island. There was something weird with this guy who people said wore a mask. And doing so, well, a party was coming around. Everyone was getting dressed up for it because it was a Halloween party. And at the time, when everyone was relaxing, Neon decided to go outside to see Whitney lose against a masked man.
Yeah, I did, and I was pissed.
Yeah,
Oh, what was funny about that masked man?
what's up?
Well,
His name was also Axel.
Yeah, I
I forgot
remember
about
that.
that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I was
so
like, oh,
Axel
Axel's game
dueled
is cool.
Axel.
Yeah,
Actually,
and
dual Axel.
I think of the times I think there was like times where Whitney actually did see me use the deck and never actually saw Frifers become Frifers.
Yeah,
And then I just had a moment of the Frifer using them to attack Axel,
and what
and I beat
you?
him.
Yeah, you won. And then
And
you decided to give away your Magnet Warriors to Whitney.
Because she kept getting her ass beat.
yeah, and she was very sad about losing all the time, and I was like, you know what? Here. Because I didn't know what else to do.
Yeah.
And then something weird happened to Axel, right?
Uh, no, not yet.
There. Yeah, so I had that moment of just probably becoming closer friends with uh Whitney.
Yeah.
So that was sweet.
Yeah. At the time, Zack and Toby decided to chase the motherfucker down.
They did.
And I believe they also went with Angel. Angel actually accompanied them this time, while Neon decided to stay behind and check up on Whitney. At the
Which I want to
time,
also say, from what I really weirdly remember as a detail, was that I was dressed up as Tower Guardian or something like that, or like the creature that's made out of brick.
I honestly don't remember who you guys dressed up as. I won't
I
lie.
was Elemental Hero Avion.
I'm still kind of upset that you somehow got a card that was yours.
Well, I mean, I had a hero deck and you had a generic rock deck at the time.
True. Either that or be in a plushy suit, which I probably think Neon would rather die than be in one.
Yeah. But at the start, they decided to go around. And well, Zack saw something for the first ever time. He saw something appear out of the sky. But it seemed like Toby knew what it was.
Yeah, Toby was pretty well aware of things of the spiritual nature by that point. Toby is actually he's pretty connected to these spirits and whatnot. If you guys remember Luna,
Mildly.
if you guys remember Luna from 5Ds, how her mind could cross over into the spirit world, Toby could do that.
Yeah. But they, for some reason, lost the ability to.
It was also vaguely psychic.
Oh,
Vaguely.
he was not vaguely psychic, but you guys really weren't supposed to learn about it till later. But yeah, he's a psychic duelist too.
Yeah. But at the time, they were able to. They went over. Zack tried to throw a spear at it and threw him into a tree.
Yep.
By which Toby was like, "Why?"
Flying monster!
Big monster.
Oh god, meme.
Bib monster.
But as it does, a couple of other spirits flew out. And they went to the hall where a lot of people were getting possessed. Doing so, Neon decided to take one of them on. They decided to
And
take
lost.
on Daichi, and they lost. Doing
And
so,
that,
Doki Doki decided to come out from Whitney's deck, the one that Axel gave them, and protect them. But then Axel decided to send Doki Doki to a good old buddy named Obelisk Jones, who was also getting his ass kicked.
Obelisk Jones.
Yeah, you probably know about him from our games, because you might have met his brother. A little bit of a crybaby, has like bad luck even with cards.
I
Old
think
Slifer
Crybaby's
Jones.
putting it mildly. I think he's just depressed.
I would be
Uh,
too if I had his fucking luck.
I mean, I checked his entire deck. Legit. Any one of his dice cards or coin cards, they do not have above 1200 attack,
That is unfortunate.
except for one. But it requires luck.
Of course, as everything does.
It's not saying that he has bad cards, but still. But as it does, since Neon lost, they were ready for whatever happens next. And then someone came in and challenged them to a duel. And it was Toby. Toby came in at the nick of time and challenged Daichi to a duel to save Neon, which,
And promptly wrecked his fucking ass,
yeah, at
as
the
Toby often does.
at the time Angel went over and dueled the vampire, well, the zombie duelist in a dice duel, but eventually won. And well, Zack had to duel Chris. And doing so, Chris and Zack were getting along at that point, even discussing about their favorite cards, where Zack learned that Chris's favorite monster was a card known as Petite Moth. The duel was going not in Zack's favor, and when the spirit that possessed Chris was was like showing him off, being like, haha, you are a failure, and like they did something. They said that they didn't need this worthless card and proceeded to discard Petite Moth.
I remember that.
And for some reason, that just ticked Zack off. Where in the first time ever, Zack Zack was looking at him with such fear, such fierce in their eye, ready to do everything. They just needed one card. And with no D draw, he pulled the card. Doing so, he activated his Mystical Space Typhoon, destroying her, I believe.
It was insect
Yeah.
neglect.
No, it wasn't insect neglect. It was DNA surgery, DNA barrier.
I thought it was insect neglect. I vividly remember insect neglect.
Insect neglect was a part of that duel a lot.
I thought it was like insect cage or what it was. Like the one where she could just discard an insect and not take
That's insect
damage.
neglect.
Oh, that's
No, it was
neglect.
banish. It was banish one from grave. Yeah.
But doing so, they were able to destroy their first line of thing, because I do remember it was not insect neglect. Insect neglect, I actually had to deal with that in the entire duel, but I just had banished all of their cards. But doing so, afterwards, Zack brought up their brand new boss monster that they pulled from a pack, the elemental hero Shining Flare Wingman. But
It was very shiny.
Dark Bright and Blade Edge also got in there.
Fairy flare.
Doing so, they were able to save Chris with a little help from a little well, hero kid. And after that, they had to quickly try and defeat the remaining spirit. There was like one left. But doing so, Toby only had red eyes. No, not red eyes. It had the decoy dragon. And Doki Doki was destroyed, and Hero Kid shortly didn't last any later. Doing so, it all was down to Toby to make sure, well, that no one fucking died here. And, well, he did. He promptly saved everyone's ass, where afterwards, Zack was like, wait, is every card that's in the well could be a spirit? When he learned about that, he pulled out another card he took from the well without anyone noticing. A little card called Hematama Soul. It was only a spirit for the one day, because it was the holidays. The spirit energy is a little bit more advanced.
Specifically Halloween, not Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah. The basically on Halloween, the barrier between the spirit world and the physical world is a lot thinner, so most spirits that are in the spirit world can actually cross over without needing to have a duelist actually summon them.
Yes. But during that time, one good thing is they got rid of all of the evidence of the wooden spears by feeding it to Hematama Soul before he disappeared.
He was hungry.
Yeah. But then afterwards, Zack had a little bit of an extra goal. Afterwards, he wanted to get Hematama Soul as a spirit. But that comes a long way. During that,
vividly.
But during that time, everyone was chatting more. They decided to go back into the spirit well, and they decided to, well, one, they found a magician card they gave to Angel, and Angel
I'm
took it.
surprised nobody mentioned the fucking the part where Whitney got fucking drunk.
I forgot about that. I forgot that you spiked the punch.
Yeah, somebody spiked the punch, and so Whitney got fucking drunk off her ass, and it was really
Whitney
funny.
did. I thought it was Violet.
Violet too.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, Violet also got drunk.
Angel. I remember, like, now that you said, I remember, like, I was like, you should try this. Like, I don't think I want to try alcohol.
Yeah, it was funny to me. I loved that sequence because it was so funny.
It was funny. But during that time, They found a magician card, and they decided because they found out something new from well, nothing right now, but the group decided to split off. A couple people went over to the hot springs just to relax, while Whitney and Neon decided to walk around. And the hot springs, we had a duel between Gary and Zack, where Gary won that time. Gary won, beat Zack, and yeah, they're now 1-1. And Zack called Violet a bitch.
He did, and she kind of was.
Yeah.
Violet was kind of one, yeah, but
Violet really wanted to be an obelisk really bad, so she thought she had to hate all of the slifers like the
Yeah.
obelisks do.
And because of that, she decided to walk off, where Angel actually followed with. And it was actually the first time Maria talked, well, in character. Like, she had little bits and pieces, but this was the time where she was fully in character and was there for her friend, explaining to her that she doesn't have to be like the obelisks to be an obelisk.
You don't have to be a dick to be an obelisk. You could just be
Yourself.
not a dick.
Yeah. But at the time, Zack walked back up to them and apologized because he definitely did think he went a little too far, but he wanted her to prove him wrong. And they promised each other that maybe eventually one day they will duel. Up. And, well, Neon and Whitney had a weird encounter. Axel,
yes.
do you remember that encounter?
No, I don't.
How dare? Um,
Wait, I think I remember now. After you said how dare. So, we heard
I
something
remember.
weird. And when we looked, I can't remember where exactly I checked, but we saw, or I think we didn't see, I think I got attacked by a wolf man.
yes.
He, a man with wolf ears and a wolf tail jumped on top of me, and we were wrestling. I'm just like yelling at Whitney, "Go get help! Help!"
Help! Help!
And as I finally got to throw him off, I noticed he was wearing a dual disc,
Uh,
and
He was.
it was like a broken one because I believe you had to make him a new one.
No, his dual disc worked.
no, it worked because I remember I hold out my dual disc and turn it on, and he tilted his head and turned his on,
All right.
and we dueled. And surprise, surprise, the animal man has gladiator beasts.
I wonder where Isabel got that deck idea from.
I wonder.
And it's totally not a reference to Arc 5 with the other wolf man who also had gladiator beasts.
Yeah, the battle beast guy.
Yeah.
And so we had a duel. It was really tough, but I think I won.
You did.
Yeah, you beat him.
Yeah.
But what happened after that?
Well, I'm glad you asked. Because I think he told us about a lab.
You found the lab.
Or we found the lab. I thought he told us about it
You
first. I
Oh,
found
was
he
wrong.
couldn't. He couldn't talk.
he couldn't talk at all. But you found the lab, but you found a keypad and you found that you didn't know the code, and he seemed too nervous about telling you it because, well, he couldn't talk.
Yes.
So you decided to walk back, maybe try to go to the others. When you found something walking the path with you guys, Bear Sama.
Yeah, Bear Sama again.
He was
And
back.
I think that time I had to drag Wolf Boy with us.
He wanted to fight the bear.
He did fight the bear.
He did fight the bear, but
He
he wanted to
lost.
kill it. Oh, he wanted to kill it still, but he got his ass fucking beat.
He was really badly wounded, and doing so, Neon quickly tried to drag him over to the secondary building. but didn't know anything about medical until they saw someone walking by. Someone with white hair and a necklace. Zack. So I believe Neon jumped out of the bush, once scaring the fuck out of Zack.
It's just like, help.
It's like, the fuck? What are you doing there?
And dragged a wolf boy out of the bush.
And, well, Zack went over and see if he knew anything about medicine when he nat fucking 20'd.
Man, Nat 20'd a lot for things that I did not expect.
Yeah. And, well, there's more to come.
There is more to come.
But,
It's just
he nat 20'd, so it was confirmed that, well, it was confirmed that Zack actually did have a little bit of medical knowledge. So Zack was actually able to patch up Wolf. And then we found out that Zack and Wolf are actually wear the same size clothes.
Conveniently.
Yeah, conveniently. So
wow.
Zack decided to give him his jacket. There's also another thing I should mention that I forgot to. Everyone was wearing, like, of course, the good old-fashioned slifer uniforms. Zack was wearing a custom-made one, where he spent nights cutting off the sleeves of his red uniforms and replacing them with green sleeves.
Cause can.
Yeah. And, alright. I was kicked out, so Dark, finish your match, and then we can...
Oh no, we both got kicked because somebody left.
Well, I can't play again for some reason.
Oh.
But, well, at the time, they decided to, well, patch up Wolf, and Zack gave him some of his clothes. And then for some reason, Neon and Toby adopted the wolf.
Yep, we kept him in our room.
Yep, he was their little guy. He was
Little
the
man.
goodest boy.
Yeah.
He was the bestest of boys.
He learned how to talk and all that stuff from fucking Sesame Street.
Yep.
Yeah,
We
because
asked...
you were the one who made it canon.
Yep, I did.
I
I was
have...
like, they put on educational shows, and somebody made the joke that it was Sesame Street, and I thought it was funny.
And then all I responded back was, "Look, listen, it's the only thing that's on the air. I don't know why."
I have been banned, I believe, for a minute.
Yeah, that's fine. Just let me know when you're good again.
But at the time, as every single time we go to visit Wolf, he's like, "What's your favorite thing to watch, Elmo?"
He loves Elmo.
So yeah, he likes.
This is something from season 2, something we are only partway through, but we took a break from it. But we had one of the new characters come in. They walked up to Wolf, who was still a part of the gang. They looked over him. "So what do you like?" "I like Elmo." It's like,
Just cool.
it's like, "Who's your favorite hero?" "Elmo."
I tried to get him to watch other movies, but he wouldn't.
He loves Elmo. He could sing all of Elmo's world.
That sounds like hell.
I would hate that. All right, I'm good. But
Okay.
during the time, they decided to, well, see what was going on in Wolf's area, where he was from. Neon told the others as everyone went to investigate. As everyone was looking, they were thinking we would have to get the info out of Wolf to have him open the door to check it out. And then Zack just rolled up, rolling a nat 20, and completely guessed the code.
Yeah. Yeah, that was funny. Meanwhile,
While that was happening,
there was another character that ended up joining the party at that point that was being played by Opal, who was aptly named Opal.
yes.
And yeah,
I think you should explain this, Dark.
they were an interesting character because I didn't really know how to put them into the game. So I decided on an interesting avenue for this character where one of those little spirits that exited the well actually found a little raw yellow girl, a very painfully plain raw yellow girl,
Very
no,
average.
very
NPC.
average. Yeah, nothing special. And this little spirit was like, "Hey, I can, do cool things. I could, do all this awesome stuff if you just let me have your body." And the girl was like, "You know what? Sure, my life's boring. I want to be somebody and do cool things. So yeah, sure." So this the spirit being kitchen dragon maid
Yep.
took over this girl's body and became a took over their life in Duel Academy and decided to go exploring the forest. And there were monkeys in the forest,
Yes, there were.
and the monkeys kidnapped her
And
and brought them back.
they
They also
also
what?
took one of my fucking cards.
Yeah, they
They
did. They
took
also stole.
They took Shining Flare Wingman.
Yep, they stole from the rest of the party, and they kidnapped Opal and brought her back to the lab where she met the fucking funniest character I've ever made that everyone
I
hates.
loved him, Dark. You know I loved him, but
Yeah, everyone hated but B.
I
I,
loved I loved the boy. But we'll
um,
explain why later.
yeah, yeah. We'll leave him out for now. He becomes much more relevant later.
Yeah. So during the time Opal was trying to escape and was able to, but at the time everyone was going around and they found the entrance into the lab. Doing so, everyone decided to see what was going on in the lab. Well, they decided to check the computer, which was like a fucking HoloNet computer. Like, how the fuck did they make this shit?
It was very high technical.
And so Zack did the one thing that no man should ever do. They
Look at the
checked
browser history.
another man's browser history.
It was
I
canon
forgot.
that there was tons of porn.
Didn't we also? What didn't also one of the biggest things that happened in our game happen?
What?
Oh, we're getting to that.
Yeah.
No, I mean like when Maria was gone.
Yeah, no, that's after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're getting to that.
Yeah. But as it does, they were talking. Zack went over the logs, and the logs were talking about spirits. So everyone was deciding to look over, and Zack decided to take out a couple of Neon's cards. Neon wondered why and said, "We need more spirits." And promptly, when they said that, a spirit appeared. Patchwork Fluffle.
Yeah, good old Patchwork Fluffle.
Good old patchwork.
And
Probably the cutest cutest spirit I've ever gotten.
wow, I gave you Dark
Damn.
Mimic level 1.
He was
R.I.P.
also
Babysitter Goat.
cute.
Babysitter Goat, Flame Sorcerer, Inferno Wizard.
Flame Sorcerer is not really cute. He's more
Hey,
of a
listen,
tool.
Aren't I
Inferno Wizard is
adorable?
pretty cute. Oh god.
Come on, I'm adorable.
Anyway,
But at the time, Patchwork Fluffle actually led us to an area we needed to go to. They led us to, I believe, a ladder. And when they found the ladder, Zack decided to go back and check things out one more time to see what was going on, see if there was a way to bring down the ladder. And then a jet of fire shot up through the forest that was down there.
Yep.
There was an
I wonder who
entire
did that.
forest in there.
and lit on fire.
So at the time, everyone was wondering, one, what the hell was that? And two, Zack and Neon decided to go down to check what was going on when Toby went to see if there was any sprinkler system. Good news is they found the sprinkler system. Bad news is that a lot of the damage is already done.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
But after a lot of the damage was done, they went down and they decided to split off into teams. Zack went alone, and then Neon went with Angel, and uh, Neon went with. I think Neon went alone. No, Neon did go with Angel, and Zack and Toby actually went alone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I went alone.
Yeah. But at the time, or I think all three of us might have just been alone. I think Angel. Yeah, this was the session. Maria wasn't here.
Yeah.
So Maria said that she'd wait out front with the others. At the time, everyone was going to check it out. Doing so, Neon ran into Opal. How fitting.
How
Shut
fitting
up.
indeed, given what would happen years later.
Yeah. But
I will end both of you.
no, you won't.
You're right.
But as that happened, they decided to, well, duel this random Ugandan looking guy.
He was an echidna.
He was. And he had a customized deck.
The only character that I made that had a completely custom deck, and it was him.
And it was called Ugandans. And I know because I helped make a lot of the cards.
Based on the Ugoblin attack force from Summoner Blues series.
You can tell
I
that
thought it was fucking
you
hilarious.
can tell we based off a lot of these cards, a lot of our stuff from Summoners Network, because at the time I completed the entire series and Dark was getting closer to the end.
Yeah, I also really liked it, so shout out Summoner Blue. If you guys
Yes,
haven't watched him, well, I don't know what the
yeah,
fuck you're doing.
yeah. Like
Oh,
seriously,
yeah,
if
D&D's
you're
where the fuck?
if you're watching my channel, go watch their channels. They do amazing shit. And if Summoner Network, if you're watching this, or if anyone who, of course, watches him or DMs with him or plays with him, I love you.
Yeah, you guys are cool.
Yeah,
We wouldn't be doing this without you guys, so it's
yeah.
cool. You guys are cool.
But as it does, everyone decided to. Well, Neon decided to duel, and with a rough ass duel where, to be honest, the Echidna could have actually won on the
He could
first
have.
turn.
He could have. I elected not to, but he could have.
Yeah. They decided to, well, after that, there was like, okay, I will let you go now. You can all be free. And then Opal decides to run up and decides to try and hit that thing with a dragon breath.
Yeah. Yeah.
We
He
were
really didn't need to.
we were so okay with like, becoming like somewhat like buddies with the guy. And then that.
He was just looking for his queen, man. He
Yeah.
wanted Opal to be his queen. He wasn't a bad guy. He just was looking for his queen.
Yeah.
He was kind of a bit of a bad dude.
He wasn't a bad guy.
Look, man,
Yeah.
he if you lived in a lab your entire life and all you wanted to do was find your queen, you know, it just be like that sometimes.
Yeah. As it does, they called up Toby because Neon was close by. I mean, like, Toby was close by Neon. And, well, they were surrounded with monkeys.
Monkey.
Zack didn't know where they were. But then Neon had the bright idea of Toby bringing out their Red Eyes Black Dragon. So they could scare off all of the monkeys. Which worked.
Yeah. I mean,
To their
yeah,
credit, yes.
people didn't assume that it wouldn't work, but monkeys are stupid.
Yes. Except for Joey from the GX. I
A
mean,
Wheeler.
yeah. Well, you know what the name was based off of.
Yeah.
uh, but yeah. During that time, they decided to call forward, and then the three of them decided to jump the echidna because they thought it was a good idea, and
Seemed like a good idea at the time.
they were getting their ass kicked.
Toby is much less of a physical man and more of a
Yeah.
Duelist.
So they were getting their ass kicked. And the next thing you know, the echidna was walking over, ready to like give a finishing blow off to one of them with their hands. And then he got hit in the chest with a spear.
Yeah, Zack had to murder a creature.
It wasn't done yet, because at the time of Zack threw a spear at the guy, the motherfucker took it out of his chest and stabbed Toby in the chest.
He was kind of a badass, honestly. I was kind of sad when he died.
Yeah, spoiler, but yeah. After that, Neon and Opal decided to quickly perform first aid on Toby when Zack had to 1v1 the echidna. But unlike Toby, um, Zack
Zack is a physical guy.
Zack is a little bit of a physical guy. A lot of his physical stuff comes later on.
He gets buff.
He does. But they decide to have a fight where they had a spear fight, and during the fight, Zack was trying to talk him down the entire time, saying that they didn't need to be enemies, that they can go, we can like forget any of this happened. But the echidna wouldn't let it go. And I mean, I don't blame it. But doing so, they had to, well, fight more when the echidna slashed at Zack's eye. Doing so, Zack was starting to lose vision out of his eye while everyone else was looking, while Zack was like taking hits to like his arms and his legs. Doing so, leaving actually decent scars in there as well. But doing so, the final hit, after they stabilized them, Neon came in and closed line the fucking echidna when Zack was holding it down.
Yeah, that was kind of cool, honestly.
Yeah, that kind of was a badass at that moment.
And then after the echidna was down, we thought we were done. Then Opal ran up and burnt and lit it on fire.
Fucking charred this creature alive.
Yeah. Doing so, it killed the echidna. And and Zack was not happy about it, but they were okay. Toby had a wound on their chest while Zack was bleeding from multiple cuts, stabs, and his eye.
He got hurted.
As it does, Neon decided to stay with Opal to see what was more around down here, why they were brought here. When Toby and Zack just started to stumble out of the lab, stumbling over each other. And, after Maria, who was not there, proceeded to snap Whitney out of with a nat 20 bitch slap.
The nat 20 bitch slap. The most legendary.
It was. Whitney went back to their senses as they slowly tried to get the others back. But on the way there, Zack, who was doing so well, he passed out from blood loss.
Yeah, it was no bueno.
Yeah.
Very no bueno.
Doing so, everyone reconvened at the first aid area where Zack wasn't awake yet because of that. And everyone was wondering what the fuck was going on. One of the teachers asked how they got such, wounds, and Neon decided to blame the entire situation on Zack.
Damn, that was tough. I remember that. That was tough.
I don't even remember what
You
I said.
said that Zack lost his Elemental Hero Shining Flame Wingman card, so they went into the forest looking for it, where they proceeded to run into a bear.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that wasn't that much of blaming you.
You said that it was my fault we had to go into the forest.
I mean, my character still hated you.
Exactly.
I mean, my character was still an asshole, so.
But during the time when they blamed, when Zack woke up, he saw Neon's like, "Hey, just to let you know, I blamed it all on you. Don't break it." I'm just like, "You motherfucker." But during that time, They came up with a lie. Zack figured out that he was having one of his eyes has a massive scar on it, and he may have a little bit of vision loss from that side. But doing so, Toby and Zack needed to stay the night to make sure that everything was good. In the middle of the night, Toby and Zack couldn't sleep, so they decided to duel. Doing so, Zack bought a brand new deck just for his Hematoma Soul, which was a Pyro deck. Volcanics.
Yeah.
Yeah. And doing so, it was a good duel with the Volcanic Doomfire, Volcanic Counter, but Zack sadly lost again. Doing so, they went to sleep, and then they woke up with going to class with Neon dueling Blue for the third time.
The rubber match that didn't need to happen. Well, technically Blue won the first one, but
Yeah, but
You said that I was allowed to cheat. You said I could. You
you
said
said
you
you.
wanted me to cheat.
I mean, yeah, I said that because I wanted somebody to use the mechanic of cheating that I put into the fucking game, and
I
you
mean,
might as well be the one to do it.
I still have that mechanic, by the way.
But
You never said that to us.
yeah, you never mentioned that actually. But
It should be
anyway,
on your sheets. Sleight of hand.
well, yeah, but like you could have said that we were allowed to do it because like I told you guys you were allowed to do it in the middle of duels, but
I thought
you
it
know
was
what?
obvious with Cole.
Well, fuck him. Anyway,
But
what was
yeah,
I saying?
we were talking about Blue's new deck because he got a new deck.
Yeah, he got armed dragons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is interesting as Armed Dragons, well, is mostly known to be in North Academy, when GX is normally supposed to have ancient gears.
It doesn't matter, man.
But
I do what I want.
true.
It's like fuck the
But
rules. I'm the
as
creator.
that duel happened, Neon
There's
won
also no
it.
fucking cyber dragons in Duel Academy, but they're at North Academy, so
But Neon won against Blue again, using a very interesting card they actually never really thought to be good until they finally used it.
I forgot what that was.
Fight for Tiger.
Oh, Fright for. No, I use that all the time. I think you're thinking of like Fright for Wolf?
Oh, it must have been Wolf. It was Wolf. It was Wolf. My bad.
Because I kept using Tiger as a board wipe.
I mean, okay, I glossed over a duel, but we should discuss this. There was a duel with Obelisk Jones and Neon.
oh yeah, that fucking duel.
Doing
Axel
so,
doesn't want to talk about that duel, I guarantee it.
doing so,
I don't
Neon,
actually.
Neon and Obelisk Jones were having a duel, and Neon brought out Fright for Tiger. Really good card. For some reason, didn't use the effect to destroy the face down. No idea why. And
Only
well,
towards the things I could see, not the things I couldn't.
yeah. Well, during that, it was a face down dice jar. And it was like, huh, well, if you need to win, I need to roll a 6. Neon
Oh, I
rolled a
needed to roll
4.
6.
No, Neon rolled a 4. And then Obelisk Jones proceeded to roll a 6.
Does a fuckload of burn damage.
Yeah.
6,000 to be exact.
So we decided to go back in time and do a little retcon that Fright for Tiger destroyed Dice Jar and attacked for game.
Yeah, I felt bad.
Everyone felt bad. And the one person who keeps trying to put fucking Dice Jar back in is fucking B.
What do you mean?
Or was it you, Dark? I can't remember.
What? For what?
When we like when we had the phase of just planning super far ahead and someone is like, hey, you should put Dice Jar in this deck.
Oh yeah, I do have Dice Jar in one of my decks.
You still have it?
Yes, we aren't confirmed yet if I'm switching decks, but right now I do have it.
Okay.
That's funny.
Because funny. And
Yeah,
I
funny.
might. Here's the thing: I might keep Dice Jar but lose the other engine. That's how funny it is.
A funny
Yeah,
card, bro.
Yeah.
he has the dumbest luck I've ever seen.
What? No, I don't.
Let's say that
He said,
you always keep
"What?"
you never ever got bad results on machine type 6.
Well, I didn't beat a tier 0 deck with coin flips.
Yeah.
But after that duel, we all looked over and, well, we were all called into the chancellor's office, I believed. Oh, no, I was wrong. We all decided to go to holiday break because at the time it was Christmas.
Rimbo.
Okay.
And doing so, Zach, Chris, Gary, and Toby went to Zach's house for Christmas. Doing so, they met Zach's twin sister, and they had some time just hanging out, being friends. For some reason, Toby was all for going to a buddy's house instead of going home. And
Yeah, yeah. He didn't want to go home for some reason.
yep,
Yeah, who
we still don't
knows?
know why.
It's
Yeah.
almost like he has a bad home life.
But doing so, we decided to well, have fun. Opal had to explain to her new family that she's a dragon, which was interesting.
Yeah, we were still never really clear on the fact of what happened to the actual girl.
She's still there.
Yeah, she's still in Opal's head. They share a body. It's kind of like
It's
Yugi and Yami, but
yeah.
less. They can switch whenever they want to, and more. She still sees and feels and knows everything that's happening to Opal.
Harpy Dancer Yuki. That's the situation they're in. But it's more there is agreed upon.
Okay.
That's how I see it.
Yeah.
But as the time goes on, Angel went home to talk to their father, and Neon decided to actually stay on the island.
Which I can actually probably explain because I think I did explain it.
Yeah, how about you explain what happened next? And then after we explain what happened next, I think that's where we're going to end off the first part.
Yeah. So
Makes sense.
I would like to start by saying why Neon stayed home. Or not stayed home, stayed at the island. Because they didn't really have anywhere to go to. Surprise. The person who probably wants the most attention has no attention from their parent.
But they could have
Anyway,
gone to Zach's house. But you still hated
would
him at
they?
the time.
But would they though?
You did still hate him at the time, so yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, so what happened after that was, I believe,
It was you,
they were
Wolf,
with
and Whitney.
Whitney, Wolf, and Whitney, and Whitney was like, "Hey, I heard about like there was an abandoned dorm out there." Like, oh really? It's like, yeah, it seems to have like really creepy stuff. I'm like, well, sounds pretty cool, and we're not doing anything, so let's go. And we went to a haunted house, and we kind of basically was like surprise corpse party.
Yep.
It was just the hallway map that was Corpse Party.
As we ventured through, we were hearing weird noises. And when we went all the way downstairs, we saw a doll in the middle of the room. And we were like, "Wait, how is that doll moving by itself?"
Yeah. What happened?
And and it looked at me and it captured both Whitney and Wolf, and I had to duel to get them free. And I lost horribly.
I
Actually,
wouldn't say you. It was a really close duel. You gotta like
it was
fight for
a pretty good one.
Chimera.
It was a pretty good duel. Like I believe they ended up being down to their last fusion monster in their extra deck whenever
Yeah.
the duel ended.
Yeah, it was really hard to remember, but I lost. And in a moment of vulnerability, the doll just walked towards me, grabbed me by my head, and just said, "You know, I'm not going to steal your soul because there's something interesting about you." And then I got possessed.
I'm
Yeah.
keeping this one.
So Neon got possessed, and at the time, everyone else got back from their break. For some reason, Neon was acting different. Whitney didn't know why, and Neither did Wolf.
They
But
had their memories erased.
but Neon spirits were not anywhere near Neon and were panicking.
Yeah. So Zack decided to go look around because Whitney mentioned the abandoned dorm.
Hold on. What happened first with when you ran into Neon
Yeah.
was that you guys heard a loud explosion at Obelisk,
Oh
and it
yeah.
was me. It was me beating Blue for the third time or fourth time.
Fourth time, but that one was it wasn't an actual duel. It was just cutscene.
It was, yeah, it was flavor,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Neon was especially ripping on Blue, calling him like a sorry excuse of a duelist and saying that he should stop, and then just tossed a card that he took from him back, and then just walked away
Yeah.
with a sinister smirk.
Zack, I remember now because I remember afterwards, Zack went up and actually tried to defend Blue a little bit. Doing so, they actually had a little bit of a fight where a verbal fight. If it was an actual fight, I think Zack would have won.
Damn,
But
that's tough. Probably true.
but afterwards, Neon told Zack how they truly felt about him, and it was hurt. And then, well, Zack went to Whitney to see what was going on with Toby, Angel, and Opal. Doing so, Whitney explained about the abandoned dorm. So Zack went over to go check it out. You know, scout it out and wait for the others. While Toby, Opal, and Angel decided to go into Neon's room and talk to Patchwork. But it couldn't really talk, so DM, what happened?
Didn't it draw a picture?
Yeah, it did.
It drew a really cute childish picture, and I loved my spirit even more.
Yeah, it drew a picture of what happened to good old Neon for everybody.
Yeah. So everyone went to the abandoned dorm with Zack and explained. So everyone decided to go into the abandoned dorm. They found the secret passage and they all went down. And then they met someone there. Someone waiting. It was Neon
Dun
with
dun dun.
something behind them. No one knew what it was except for Zack. Again. Because
Dun dun dun.
he found out that the card was known as El Shaddai Construct.
Yeah, they had dual Shadal deck.
Yeah. We probably should have mentioned that when Axel dueled it, but
Suspense. It's
yeah.
all for the theatrics.
I mean, fair. Doing so, Shaddai Construct proceeded to capture Toby, Angel, and Opal. Doing so, it was just leaving Zack and Whitney. Doing so, Construct did decide to use Whitney as a puppet and tried to knock out Zack. So,
She got her fucking ass beat again, as usual. Poor
so
Whitney. She always
Zack
got her ass beat.
Zack had to, well, knock her ass out with a smack with the spear across the head, not with a sharp part, but with the bat, basically hit him over with a stick.
The blunt part.
Yeah,
Where you see that Neon basically forced Whitney to fuck around, and then she found out really badly.
yeah,
Yeah. It was very fucking unfortunate, honestly.
We posted so many like gifs of like wrestlers getting the shit beat out of them in like one punch.
yeah. And doing so, it
She got her
was
ass fucking beat. That
she
shit was not even like
it
that
wasn't
was
it's
bad.
not.
That was
But
that was like literally the moment that fucking Neon got like his reality a bit out of like holy shit, dude, what the hell?
yeah, but you were still a little possessed, and you were actually very pissed because you were having, of course, things altered by Shadal, and well, Shadal forced you to duel me.
How
There's
did
also
that end?
probably yeah.
Well,
I hate that.
the start of the duel was
I hated it too. I wanted it to be a better duel.
the start of the duel was very interesting. Doing so, Zack opened up with a pretty decent starting hand, being able to destroy a monster and deal a good amount of damage. But doing so after that, Neon just completely started to stop all of Zack's plays, stopping all of his plays to get him down to low life points, to the point
It
where
was
the
almost
only card in my hand was Elemental Hero Sparkman. And I wasn't allowed to special summon, and if I summon, there was a potential of it getting sent back to my hand. But I remembered because beforehand I did a lot of off screen duels and dice duels, which I won a good chunk of. So I asked the DM if I could try to see if I could summon a spirit. And he said, roll a nat 20. And Zack proceeded to roll a nat 20.
I can't make this shit up, guys. I really fucking can't.
He
Like,
proceeded to roll a nat 20. So the spirit was ready. And I was like, can I spirit draw? He says, give me a luck roll. And I roll another nat 20.
I can't make it up.
It
I
was
really
on
can't.
it was on roll 20. I couldn't cheat.
I don't know
So
how. I don't know how this happened.
yeah.
You can't fucking make it up.
you can't, but I basically stole a line from the anime.
Mhm.
From well, Yu-Gi-Oh! Varane's, I stole Soul Burner's line. I drew a card from my heart, and that was, well, a burning draw. And it was burning because the card I drew was a card named Himatama Soul, which had the ability to be discarded from my hand to inflict 600 points of damage to my opponent.
It is 100 bigger fucking Hinotama.
Yeah.
That's what his spirit ability is. It
And
sounds terrible, but it wasn't.
it was, and I needed 600 to win the duel. So I completely animate that shit, discarding Himatama Soul as the fireballs all surrounded Neon, winning Zack the duel again.
Meanwhile, like my moment of trying to be the big bad guy just kind of snapped out of reality as I've just kind of process what the fuck just happened.
Yeah. Doing so, Zack was able to bring down Shadal Construct, enough for Neon to take back control. And instead of, well, leaving their body, Neon gave a second opinion. Instead of
I
leaving, what did you offer?
I offered her to stay. Then two, well, personally, this was probably a very out of character moment, but when I was explained to exactly what shadows were, I just sat there kind of like being a hive mind seems kind of depressing. So what if I offered her to stay here to learn what humans actually are like?
Yeah.
But in reality, it'd probably be like, you should stay here and because you promised me to get stronger, and yet we still fucking lost.
Yeah. For some reason now Construct hated Zack.
Wonder why. You
Yeah,
kind
for
of
some
thwarted her
reason.
entire fucking plan.
Uh but as that happened, Zack Zack's like, well, if you get out of hand again, points to
I'll fucking kill you.
points to Soul. And then afterwards, they all decided to take a little bit of a break from the spiritual stuff. They went to the hot springs, but as they were going to the hot springs, Zacta was training. He didn't know why, but he was. While everyone else was training spiritually, he was training physically. As we were waiting, as something appeared in the shadows. We didn't know what it was. We didn't know what it was could be. But it was bad news. If you want to know what they were, you're gonna have to tune in next time whenever we come back with part two.
Yeah. And also, before we leave, as an important note, probably this late in at our little sauna episode was when everyone learned that Neon was actually a girl, including Whitney.
True.
which was funny.
Plus
And
as
so
well,
everyone just stared at like, wait, what?
plus as well, Axel even got a third spirit, one called Right for Pond Angel, a custom card.
Yeah,
Oh
it was
yeah,
custom.
that was during my boss battle that I lost.
Yeah, but they had fun, and yeah, it was funny because I remember Shadal Contract came in as chibi form, and then Opal started a fire in the bathhouse.
It'd be like that sometimes. It'd be like that when it's Opal.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was like, oh yeah, you want to see something cool? And everyone was like, no, 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 no.
No, 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 no,
And
no,
then
no.
oh yeah, there's also something actually I forgot to say that I had now because I was possessed by Shadol.
Say it.
I had a spirit power type of thing, much like Opal had.
Well,
But instead of
yours is
breathing,
more like Wendy's.
well, yeah,
Like uh like how I said, Neon is more of a hybrid than possessed. Like what? Like Wendy.
yeah. So I was able to have strings come out of my back, a
A little slot opened up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
little spiritual slot, not an actual slot, because that would be gross looking,
It
and
probably was gross looking.
probably very
probably
concerning.
would
But
have
I'm
been.
pretty sure it was probably like an abyss if it was like spiritual.
I always just thought like their back fold open and their back like had like a secret door that like flung open like one of those like weird toys.
That was the intention.
Yeah, I was thinking that, but like my brain was like, okay, is it either just going like pitch black on the inside, or can you actually see his insides?
No,
Oh,
you
it's
can't see the insides. No, no, that'd be too much.
yeah.
Okay.
Wait, does that mean the fucking strings are his organs?
No, they're
No,
just
no, no,
they're
no.
strings. They're just regular strings.
I know, I'm making a joke.
But yeah. So the reason I brought that up was because when Opal was breathing fire, immediately strings came out of my back and just snapped her mouth shut, so she stopped breathing fire.
Yeah, and yeah, that was
Whitney,
really the first half of our first ever D&D. It was insane.
a lot of chaos, but a lot of fun chaos.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good time.
There was still one more. There is still, by the way, one more. I think one or two more broken things Zach did in the game that will probably be discussed of next game because it is plot relevant.
Basically, just learn how B became a headache for Dark.
It was very hard to plan things around Zach's fucking luck. I don't know how it all happened.
So you guys now know also why I am the forever DM.
I mean, like, Axel and Opal plan to do stuff. I might do a couple more in the future, but I've kind of retired.
Yeah,
I plan to do stuff. Well, I mean, like with Fairy Tale would be probably a good explanation of what happened, but that'll be for a while.
yeah. I mean, we can do Fairy Tale next. I mean, after of course this game.
Yeah, explaining this game, yeah,
Yeah, but
it's pretty.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. And my computer keeps shutting off, so I just died.
Damn, that is not fun.
No, it's
Did we
not.
lose the recording?
No,
Okay.
but yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed the first part about learning about our D&Ds. I hope you guys enjoy this series. And yeah, you guys also now a little bit know more why we have our stuff. Why we like say things like the Nat 20 bitch slap, why we call Opal a arsonist.
Because they are.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
understand a bit more. And well, I hope you all enjoyed. And I hope you guys come by to like see what we do. Either way, thank you all for stopping in and listening to the video. I know it was a long one. I hope the gameplay helped out. But
Yeah.
but with that, I will talk to you all later. Hive out.